She's just so busy because she's, accomplishing all her dreams right now. She just did Othello. So, I mean, she's just really busy. She's always on the go.
Riley Burruss has stayed quiet for most of her life. If you've watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta, you probably remember her as the calm, reserved daughter standing beside her famous mother, Kandi Burruss. She rarely spoke during the drama, she rarely reacted when cameras were rolling, and for years, people assumed that silence meant everything in her life was perfectly fine. But now, that silence is finally broken. During a recent conversation that quickly spread across social media, Riley opened up about something fans have whispered about for years: the complicated reality inside her family, especially when it comes to her mother and her stepfather, Todd Tucker. And what she said surprised a lot of people. Because for the first time, Riley didn't just hint at tension, she confirmed that things behind the scenes weren't always as happy as they looked on television. The smiles, the family dinners, the big celebrations, according to Riley, those moments didn't always tell the full story. Fans immediately started revisiting old episodes, looking at moments that once seemed normal but now feel completely different. Suddenly, people began asking the same question: was there more going on in Kandi and Todd's household than viewers ever realized? And once Riley started talking, the pieces began falling into place. To understand why Riley's words are shaking the internet right now, you have to go back to the beginning.
And she's like, okay, Riley, here's my advice. Here's what happened when I was doing it. Take this as you may.
Long before reality TV fame took over her life, Kandi Burruss was already a powerhouse in the music industry. She first rose to fame as a member of the legendary R&B group Escape, and later became one of the most successful songwriters in the business. She helped create massive hits for artists like TLC, including the iconic song No Scrubs. From the outside, Kandi looked unstoppable. She built a career, a brand, and eventually a reality television empire. But behind all the success, there was a young girl growing up in the middle of it all. Riley Burruss entered the public eye at a very young age. When her mother joined The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Riley was still just a kid trying to figure out life while cameras followed her family everywhere. Millions of viewers watched her grow up on screen, and while the show focused on friendships, arguments, and luxury lifestyles, fans also saw glimpses of Riley's personal life. One of the most talked about parts of her story involved her father, Russell Block Spencer. His absence was discussed openly on the show, and viewers watched Kandi struggle with the emotional impact that situation had on Riley. For years, Kandi worked hard to give her daughter stability. She provided the best schools, opportunities, and experiences money could buy. She wanted Riley to have everything she didn't always have growing up. But then, another major change happened in their lives. Kandi met Todd Tucker while filming The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Todd was working behind the scenes as a production manager, and the two quickly formed a connection. Their relationship moved fast, and before long, Todd became a permanent part of the family.
When she was growing up on TV, it wasn't really about her, so you just saw her here and there. But now this show is like literally about her and the other kids, the young people on the show. And I think that's letting her realize, oh, okay, that means I really got to get my life together because y'all actually paying attention now.
Eventually, Kandi and Todd got married. To viewers, it looked like a beautiful love story, but inside the household, things weren't always simple. Riley was still a teenager trying to adjust to a new father figure entering her life, and as many blended families know, that adjustment isn't always smooth. At times, fans noticed Riley seemed distant around Todd. She wasn't rude, she wasn't disrespectful, but she often kept her emotions guarded. Back then, most people assumed she was just being a typical teenager. But according to Riley now, the situation was more complicated than that, because what the cameras showed was only part of the story. And what nobody expected was how much pressure Riley says she felt growing up inside such a public family. When you're the daughter of someone as successful as Kandi Burruss, life can look glamorous. Big houses, luxury trips, private schools, exclusive events. But Riley says those things didn't make everything easy. In fact, she explained that sometimes the attention made things harder.
Imagine being a teenager while millions of strangers watch your family argue on television. Imagine people online constantly analyzing your expressions, your personality, even your body language. That was Riley's reality for years. And as Kandi's relationship with Todd continued to grow, Riley found herself trying to figure out where she fit in this new family dynamic. At first, things seemed friendly. Todd made efforts to connect with her, and on camera, the family often appeared united.
You're the minority, and it's okay. You have learned how to, make friends in all different circles from all walks of life. And that's one thing that I'm proud of you about. And you're not afraid to speak up for yourself, which you should not be. He's going to have to learn to deal with Black women. And if this is his first lesson, then let that be it.
But here's the twist. According to Riley, there were moments where she felt caught between two worlds. On one side was her mother, a woman constantly working, running businesses, filming shows, and building an empire. On the other side was Todd, someone stepping into a parental role while still learning how to navigate that responsibility. And sometimes Riley says it felt like she was expected to just adjust without fully processing her own feelings. One moment that fans are now revisiting happened years ago on the show. During a discussion about Riley's future and college plans, Todd made comments about teaching her responsibility and independence. At the time, the scene didn't seem like a big deal, but Riley later admitted that moments like that made her feel uncomfortable. Not because Todd meant harm, but because she was still figuring out what his role in her life really was. For a teenager already dealing with an absent father, the situation could feel emotionally confusing. And things became even more complicated as the family grew. Kandi and Todd eventually welcomed 2 more children together, creating a larger blended family. Suddenly, Riley wasn't just Kandi's daughter anymore. She was also a big sister, navigating a completely new family structure. And while love was definitely there, Riley says the transition sometimes felt overwhelming. She watched her mother balance work, marriage, and motherhood all at once. Kandi was constantly moving, constantly building, constantly achieving. But in the middle of all that movement, Riley sometimes felt like her own emotions didn't get enough space.
Kandi Burruss, and people might remember me from Real Housewives of Atlanta as a kid.
Now, years later, she's finally explaining what that experience felt like. During her recent interview, Riley didn't attack anyone. She didn't speak with anger. In fact, she was surprisingly calm. But the honesty in her words is what caught people's attention. She explained that the rumors about tension between her and Todd weren't completely wrong.
There were times when their relationship felt awkward. Times when they were still learning how to understand each other. And sometimes that learning process happened while cameras were rolling. That's a lot of pressure for any family. But Riley made something very clear. She said Todd was never trying to replace her father, and she acknowledged that he cared about her and wanted the family to work. However, she also admitted that emotional closeness takes time, and sometimes the public assumed they were closer than they actually were. For viewers watching at home, it often looked like everything had already blended together perfectly. But real life doesn't always move that quickly. And Riley says growing up in front of cameras made it harder to express those complicated emotions. Because once something airs on television, millions of people form opinions about it. Some fans blamed Todd, others defended Kandi, but very few people actually asked Riley how she felt. That's why her recent comments hit so hard. For the first time, she's telling the story from her own perspective, not as a reality TV character, but as a daughter. She explained that one of the hardest parts of growing up on television is feeling like your life belongs to everyone else. Every argument becomes public. Every awkward moment becomes entertainment. Every family tension becomes a headline. And while viewers move on to the next episode, the people living that reality still have to deal with the emotions behind it. Riley says she often chose silence because speaking up felt risky. She didn't want to hurt her mother. She didn't want to create unnecessary drama. And she definitely didn't want strangers online attacking her family. But as she's gotten older, she's realized something important. Silence doesn't always protect you. Sometimes it just hides feelings that need to be acknowledged. And that's why she finally decided to speak honestly, not to start conflict, not to embarrass anyone, but simply to share what her experience was really like. And surprisingly, her words have actually sparked more understanding than anger. Fans who once judged her quiet personality are now realizing that silence may have been her way of coping with a complicated environment. Imagine being a teenager trying to understand family dynamics while producers, cameras, and millions of viewers are watching. That's not a normal childhood, and Riley's honesty is helping people see that. What makes this story even more powerful is how it shows the emotional side of fame. From the outside, celebrity families look glamorous, but behind those perfect Instagram photos and television scenes are real people trying to navigate real relationships. Riley's story reminds us that money, success, and fame don't automatically solve emotional challenges. Even in the most successful households, communication and understanding still matter. And as Riley continues building her own life, attending college, growing her independence, and finding her voice, she's starting to step out of the background role she once played on television. For years, she was the quiet kid standing in the background of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now she's becoming a woman who's comfortable telling her own story. And interestingly, her honesty may actually strengthen her relationship with her family, because sometimes the most difficult conversations are the ones that create the deepest understanding. Instead of hiding emotions, Riley is finally giving them space to exist. And that kind of honesty can be powerful. It can open doors for healing. It can help families see each other more clearly. And it can remind viewers that reality TV only shows one angle of a much bigger picture. At the end of the day, Riley Burruss isn't trying to expose her family. She's simply explaining what life felt like from her perspective. And that perspective matters. Because behind every reality TV storyline is a real person experiencing those moments in real time. Riley grew up under a spotlight she never asked for. She handled public opinions, family transitions, and personal emotions, all while cameras documented her childhood. That kind of pressure would be difficult for anyone. But now she's older, wiser, and finally comfortable speaking in her own voice. And maybe that's the real story here. Not scandal, not drama, but growth. Riley Burruss is no longer the quiet kid standing in the background of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's stepping forward as her own person, telling her truth, and giving people a deeper look at what life inside a reality TV family can really feel like. And as fans continue debating her comments, one thing is clear. Her voice, the one people rarely heard before, is finally being listened to now. But the bigger question might be this: what happens when the children of reality TV stars grow up and start telling their own side of the story? Because if Riley's honesty is any indication, we may only be beginning to hear what those stories really sound like.